Hey there, you guys like my shirt? Yeah, we're going to be talking about some pretty scary stuff today, so I figured I'd stick with the horror theme here. So, all right, let's get to it. One swipe, and you could be on your way to building your financial future. One swipe too many, and you're drowning in debt before you even turn 25. So, should you get a credit card? Well, stick around. You want to hear this before applying for that shiny plastic. To swipe or not to swipe? That's the question we'll try to help you answer in today's video. Hey everyone, this is AJ, your ace in the hole, and welcome to the channel where we super simplify personal finance and provide tips and life hacks for young adults and others based on real life experiences to help kickstart your financial journey. Whether you're just getting started or a parent looking for some ideas, either way, I'm here to help stack the deck in your favor. That said, let's get right to it. So you're thinking about getting your first credit card. Well, it can either be a powerful financial tool or a fast track to financial disaster. In this video, we're going to dive into the pros and cons of getting your first credit card, as well as look at some sobering statistics to help educate you on the risks. Now, there's good news and bad news with credit cards. Normally, we like to start with the good news, but not today. Why? Because the bad news is the most important thing to understand about credit cards first, because they are not all unicorns and rainbows. We'll get to the good news shortly, so sit tight. But first, do you like horror movies? Why don't we start out with some horrific credit card stats to get things rolling. Credit card debt in the US has always been an issue, but as of early 2025, several increasingly concerning trends have emerged. First is record high credit card debt. By the end of 2024, U.S. credit card debt reached an all-time record of $1.21 trillion, a significant increase from $770 billion in the first quarter of 2021. Consumers overall added $93 billion in debt during the last quarter of 2024, with nearly half attributed to new credit card debt. Next is household credit card debt. Now, how does that break down? The average U.S. household carries over $7,200 in credit card debt each month. We'll talk momentarily about what that level of debt means to your financial health. But studies show that credit card debt is also one of the leading causes of financial stress and even depression. Now we move on to delinquency rates, which is also on the rise. Approximately 7.2% of credit card accounts became seriously delinquent in the fourth quarter of 2024, marking the highest rate since 2011. Not only are you hit with exorbitant interest rates if you're late with payments, which we'll touch on next, but you'll also receive late fees on top of that. As of 2024, credit card companies in the US earned over $14 billion annually from late fees alone. Finally, we have those elevated credit card interest rates. The current average credit card interest rate at the time of this recording stands at a whopping 24.2% with a high of 28%, greatly intensifying the financial burden on those that don't pay off their credit card balance each month. These are just some of the stats that highlight the financial challenges, the bad news, concerning credit cards. I'd like to put this into perspective with a first-hand personal experience regarding the first time I ever made a significant credit card purchase as a young adult. Back in the day, I proudly purchased a piece of music gear for $1,500 with my first credit card, all on my own. I distinctly recall paying the minimum payment for the first 2 months until I looked closely at my statement and had absolute sticker shock. You see, if you were only to pay a minimum payment of $40 each month at a 25% interest rate, it would take roughly 6 years to pay that off, and you would have to pay an additional $1,450 in interest alone in addition to the $1,500 purchase price, basically paying double. At this rate, you're paying $40 per month and $31 per month, and interest is being reapplied back to your balance. Meaning for every $40 you pay, you're only removing about $9 from your balance each month. You can see how this terrified me. Needless to say, I immediately started paying down the bill with as much as I could each month, and I paid it off in record time. That was a great learning experience for me early on. Needless to say, I never paid the minimum payment on a credit card ever again, and in fact, this experience taught me early on to actually avoid using credit cards whenever possible. There are some nifty credit card payment calculators online you can use to run scenarios on the effects of payments and interest rates just to see what this looks like over time. I'll link a few below if you're interested. So now that we got some of the credit card horror out of the way, as promised, let's talk about some of the benefits. But I must warn you, proceed with caution. Here are some reasons why a credit card might be beneficial for young adults. So first, a credit card is one way to start building a credit history, which increases your chances of getting a car loan, renting an apartment, and even landing certain jobs. Your credit history is compiled into a personal credit score that reflects your reliability in borrowing and repaying debts. The most widely adopted credit scoring model, or FICO score, evaluates 5 key factors to determine your credit score that travels with you throughout your financial life. I'll discuss these 5 factors and how your score is calculated shortly. Next, using a credit card wisely can help you learn budgeting and money management. I use the term wisely because, as we discussed earlier, credit card use can sneak up on you and land you into a lot of trouble financially if you're not careful. Credit cards can also provide a sense of security and can be a lifesaver in the event of an emergency when cash isn't available. Things such as a roadside car repair or an urgent unexpected medical bill, for example. Then there are the rewards programs, which are one of the most common benefits that many enjoy. But be cautious, as many get into deep trouble chasing the latest credit card reward offers and end up spending money they would have otherwise not spent at all. Some cards offer cash back based on the amount of money spent on your card. You can either apply this to your outstanding balance or use it for other purchases. Others offer travel rewards such as airline miles or hotel points, and even perks like free subscriptions or extended warranties. But again, proceed with caution. These can all be very tempting. Most credit cards come with some level of consumer fraud protection, so that your money is safer than cash. Most major credit card companies, for example, will proactively contact you if a charge appears suspicious. This is not a guarantee, but it does help provide a layer of protection, especially in the event of credit card theft. Now let's circle back to the topic of credit score. The credit scale typically ranges from 300 to 850, with 300 being poor up to 850, which is considered exceptional. There are a few companies that track your credit score, notably Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, which may vary slightly, but that's a topic for another video. Now, let's take a brief look at how a FICO credit score is calculated. First, there's payment history, which is worth 35% of your total credit score and is the most significant factor. This assesses your on-time payment of past credit accounts. Consistently making on-time payments positively influences your score, while missed or late payments can significantly lower it. Next is amounts owed at 30%, also known as credit utilization. This factor examines the proportion of available credit you're using. Maintaining lower balances relative to your credit limits suggests responsible credit management and can boost your score. Length of your credit history, worth 15%, considers how long your credit accounts have been active. A longer credit history provides more data on your financial behavior, which can favorably impact your score. Credit mix, at 10%, evaluates the variety of credit types you have, such as credit cards, mortgages, and other installment loans. Managing different types of credit can indicate financial versatility and may enhance your score. And finally, new credit at 10% looks at the number of recent credit inquiries and newly opened accounts. Opening multiple new credit accounts in a short period can be perceived as risky behavior and may lower your score. Understanding these components can help you manage your credit more effectively and work towards improving your credit score. But again, this should not be an incentive to spend money that you would never otherwise spend. Now, if you're curious as to my personal credit card strategy, it's quite simple. For starters, I only carry cashback cards, a Visa and an American Express, or Amex for short. In fact, I only keep the Visa since there are some establishments that don't accept Amex. The Visa offers premium cashback bonuses that change quarterly, for example, 5% cashback on groceries. So for those months, I use the Visa for the higher cashback reward. Otherwise, I use the Amex for all other credit card use, which has a permanent cashback on all purchases, albeit a little lower. Next, and the most important, is I pay every credit card bill off every month in full and have done so my entire life, and therefore never spending extra on interest, literally zero. Then every year in December, when bills are typically higher due to Christmas holiday gift purchases, I apply any cashback awards I have accumulated for the full year towards my credit card balance in December, which helps pay that bill in the higher month. So let's summarize some key factors you must consider if you want to apply for a credit card. Number 1, use great caution when using credit cards. You should really only use a credit card if it's absolutely necessary. The best way to navigate life is debt-free, and if you can avoid using credit cards, do it. The better option is to use a debit card instead, which acts just like a credit card but pays directly from your checking account at the point of sale, which means no bill at the end of the month. This greatly helps self-regulate your spending as it prevents you from spending money that you don't actually have. But if you absolutely must use a credit card, only use it where it makes sense and definitely not for frivolous purposes. Number 2, choose wisely when selecting a credit card and don't fall into the rewards trap. There's a reason credit card companies make record profits. The best advice is to choose a card that already aligns with your lifestyle and definitely a card with no annual fees. I would always recommend a cashback rewards card first, since you can apply earnings back to your balance due, providing the most versatile bang for your buck in credit card usage. And number 3, and most important of all, be vigilant. It takes discipline. Whatever you do, do not let your credit card use get out of control. In fact, get in the habit of paying off your bill in full each month. When doing this, you avoid extra payments and pay 0 interest, which is the equivalent of paying cash for everything. Admittedly, it is pretty convenient to pay with a credit card, and honestly, more establishments are becoming cashless. Therefore, in some cases, credit cards may actually be required. Just keep in mind this is not free money. You truly are borrowing someone else's money, in this case the bank's, when using a credit card. Now for some bonus advice, if you can't afford to pay your credit card bill in full each month, then that's a glaring hint that you are overspending beyond your means. Just keep that in mind. And with these parting words, a wise man once said, it's much easier to stay out of credit card debt than to get out of it once you're in it. So I want to thank you for watching today, and I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please give it a like and subscribe, and most importantly, if you know anyone that might be interested in this type of content, please share the video. It's our goal to help educate and arm our future generations with the info they need to help build their own financial success in life. If you're interested in more info like this, please check out these videos here, and I hope to see you in the next one. This is AJ, your ace in the hole. See ya.